Hello, good day everyone. On today's tutorial, we will be looking at the creation of risk register. And I believe as you go through this process with me, you will learn a lot on how to create risk register. So basically, risk register is used in the project planning stage to anticipate possible occurrence that might deter the successful execution of a project. Some of these might occur, some might not. So, in the course of considering these activities, you will have to measure the likelihood, which are considered in qualitative analysis, the likelihood and the level of impact. These are just based on your own perception or research of what that activity, if it occurs, what impact level will it be to that project, and the likelihood as well. So this is not converted into a quantitative value by maybe equating this qualitative value in terms of low, medium, or high, as the case may be, to 1, 3, and 5. So let's quickly jump on that so that we will appreciate what I am talking about. So before we start, we will put down the name here on our sheet. Just going to type in the name, say risk register. And let's come to the blank form here that we already have. So we can use that blank form. Click on there, it will insert the blank form, and we can easily make changes in this color if we don't like this green by going on here, and let's choose purple. Bear with me. Ctrl Z. Say Ctrl. Let's come here and choose the color. Customize color. Let's take blue. Okay. That is not too nice. Let's change it again. Okay. So that has been done, and let's quickly type in here. Type in here risk number. And come to the other side, say risk register, risk description. If we want to categorize the risk, we can do that, but in this case, we say likelihood. Impact. And the risk score. And what plan have we got? So risk response plan, if the risk occurs. So we've got those on here. We can say the risk number is 01001, and let's just say equal to the top number plus +1, enter. So let's drag that down. Go to the bottom part of the cell where you have that and drag down. Okay. So that's that. We can change this to number, so by clicking on this button here. Let's configure that. So say number. Okay, so that has been changed to number. So quickly delete that from there. And here we can say description. So test. And on this test section we can put a wrap format it. Say wrap, and we want it on the middle. Okay, and likelihood, so that if you are typing, for example, let's say, for example, if you are typing the risk information, there's a ambiguity of stakeholder investigation on the simulation project. Okay, so we want to have the likelihood, or we can just quickly click on here and put our codes that we want to use for ease. Rename, say codes. Okay, say impacts, say likelihood. Okay, and on the likelihood say low, medium, and high. And on the color grading, this also apply for the impact. Okay, let's just make this more okay. So color coding, let's say here is yellow. Let's see, here is green, and let's take red. Okay, so that is what we want for our color grading. So to put that in here, what we do is to create a condition. So we quickly create a condition there by going to data, click on validation, and you say add. We want to create a drop down, okay, and we want to collect this information from this section. Okay, drag it down and say okay, and we want to change the color as we have defined there. So we've picked that, and that's for the background, and want to make this one white. So white is F. Okay, so we make that white. Okay, background, yeah. Let's just quickly push in that red, okay, and apply, and let's see what it is here. Okay, so you can see what we've got, so you can easily put in those in there. So on here we also do the same. Go to data validation, and we had our and we'll come here and we'll say take from range, click here, and we'll go here and click from this, say okay, take yellow, green, and red. Okay, and let's see. So now we want to get the risk score, so we know we are considering one, 3, and 5. So the possible risk score will be this value. So let's quickly input those value, and we say any value from this to this is yellow, this to alright, let's quickly do that. Click on green and click on red. So all this you can figure out. So now that we have got this risk score coloring section, I want to go back here, and we have our risk score here. So we want to create a situation whereby when you click on these buttons, the risk score value will pop up on this section. So I'll go to my code section and say for this section I will say likelihood likely old value, okay, and impart value. So what I want to do with this is to convert the qualitative value into quantitative value. So here will be a risk score. Okay. And so we already agreed on here that for low we are taking 1, and for medium we are taking 3, and for high we are taking 5. So quantitative, okay, this is the qualitative. So what I'm gonna do is to create an if statement equal to if and bracket. So we come here and click on this likelihood and we go back, okay, and say equal to quotation open low comma 1, that is the agreed value, and we quickly come here to copy this if statement again, this if statement, copy and put it in front, okay, and change this one to medium, okay, and since we agree it will be 3, we put this 3 here, and we do the same for the last, which is high, and we do this high, okay, and the value is 5, okay, then we close our brackets, 1 2 3. So that's for the 3 if statement. However, before we close our brackets, if for example we don't have a cell yet, we should have an empty answer. So we say open bracket, you can say null, okay, on there, and enter, okay. So you can see we have a value there, which is 3. If we go here, that is for low. If we change this value here to low, we should be able to have 1 on there, so we are good and fine. So we want to do same for the impart. All we need to do is to just press on the edge and drag, and we should have that. So if we come back here and increase to medium, we should get. So now that you've got these 2 values, all you need to do is to put an equal sign and multiply this likelihood against this impart, okay. So what I need to do is to click here and put my asterisk, which is multiplication, and click on here and say enter. So the value is 3. So we want to bring that value 3 to the risk score here. All we need to do is to say equal to and click on the code and click on here and say enter. We've got that value as 3. So to generate the values for these ones, all we have to do is simply click on here and drag the side of that cell. It will fill in the section. So where we don't have any response, you can see it is null. And we do the same thing here. We drag down, and where we don't have any response, we've got null. Okay, and we do the same thing here. Drag down, and where we don't have any value, you can see it needs value there. Okay, so it's time for us to create our if statement, our condition. So to create our condition, so that when we've got value here that is 3, which is above the 5 marks, we should have yellow, and if it's between 6 to 12, we should have green, and if it is between 13 and 25, we should have red. That is using this condition. Okay, so we want to create that condition there. All we need to do is to come here and click on here, condition. Okay, so we come to this section and say we start from 0. No, we'll start from between 1 and 5. So let's do that quickly. So it's between 1 and 5. So we want to have yellow. Okay, so we want to have yellow. No, we want to have yellow there, and want to have yellow there. Okay, so we go on here, and if it is between 6 and 12, we want to have green there. Okay, and if it is between 'let's say if it is greater than 12, we should have red. Okay, and if the cell is empty, we should have plain white. Okay, so we've defined our condition on there. Let's see. So let's see. So we change our text color to white. Okay, so we can have that there. Yeah, let's see. Okay, the other ones are white. Let's test if it is working. So let's quickly change this value, okay, to high, and here high, so you can see it has changed. But this is black, so let's correct that as well. Say white here. Okay, let's put white here as well. Okay, right, so let's change this one again, and here to medium, and let's take medium. Okay, everything is working fine. Let's take this low. Okay, let's take this low, and This green is too bright. I want to change this green. Okay, let's change that condition here. Let's change that condition here to okay. Apply. Right. Okay, so we are all good. All I need to do is to drag this section, and so this end is to drag this section down. Okay, so you can see it has filled up that section. So every time you click on any of this, it will provide you with an answer. So you can make this centralized if you want by clicking on here, and it will be centralized. Okay, reduce this section. So that has been done neatly. Okay, so we've done our condition statement. So that is how to create your score. So when you look at your risk register, you input your risk on here, and all you need to do is to change your risk, and you will have the score on here, and you can input your plans. Okay, so that is what I want to brief you on this one today. Please, I forgot to put my title. Let me put my title there, risk register. Okay, so if you want to create your own risk register, you can use this format to create your own register as a project manager for small organization or small businesses. Okay, this will also help you to effectively manage your project. Please click the like, subscribe if you can, by all means, to encourage this training that I'm bringing to you, so that in some way I feel this is bringing an impact to the project management society. Thank you very much for your time today. You have a great one ahead. Thank you.